All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another SIG Windows meetup. So we're gonna have a hell of a week this week. So essentially, we talked last week with Brian Grant, and the general consensus is that we need to get a lot of our tests to green, and not only to green, but more importantly, everything that's in the boards on our tests shouldn't have any red. So everything that's red, they don't want to go ahead and try to interpret this is red because it should be red or something along those lines. They say they want to see solid green runs across the board. From a functionality standpoint, a few of the things that we're working on, if we end up not finishing them, obviously it's not great, but it won't get released. For example, if we're not able to validate functionality X or Y, we might be able to validate it later on and update the docs. Definitely, bug fixes may or may not be able to go in. But the general consensus is get the test to green, make it that simple to understand if it's green or not, and if it's passing or not, and then move on from there. So I added a few things on our pipeline, on our agenda for today, but let's start with the tests. Let's Patrick and Adelina get a quick update on all of those.
Sure, I'll share out my screen on here. I'm not sure which machine Adelina's on.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, I'm on a different machine than my usual one. So if Patrick can have the screen, it's up.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can see it.
So the point is that you can see the last three runs. Those ones are consistent, and it's probably going to be the same from now on. So this is with the latest released AKS engine, the version we want, 31.2. This is the one that contains fixes for the CNI issue, the issue last week where the CNI was blocking.
Mm-hmm.
We have to keep in mind that these tests are still affected by the panic, the divide by zero panic, that there is a fix for up. However, with the CNI being able to restart properly, we won't see it in the test runs. There are still, so there's this test, the daemon set 1, that's consistently failing. This should be resolved. I added a change to the config file in which I passed an argument to the test to specify the number of nodes that the cluster has. Apparently, for the daemon set test, that needs to be specified. When it's picked up, it should be running. That daemon set test should also be running when that config is picked up. If not,
is that one of our release blocking PRs? Did you find
No. It's not a PR. It's merged already. It's just the way Prow picks up new configs.
Okay, so it's already in. Okay.
Yeah.
And the same change is also in this PR that sets up the 1.14 release board.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But we will talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there are two tests that are still. Yeah.
Go ahead.
There are two tests that are still failing. There's the max container backoff. They're not here in this board because they take a long time to fail, so we eliminated them. But we have a PR out for that. Let's just find it. It's from CloudView. Increase.
That's the one.
Yeah, I've seen the PR. Yeah,
it was renamed.
Yeah, 71950, and that's on our blocking board. And I just pinged SpiffXP on that again.
Yeah, so with that one, the max container backup should work. They're in the staging job, so if the staging job, we'll pick them up first. When the PR merges, we'll see that they work in the staging job. If they work consistently, I'll move them in the main job as well. It's easy to merge in the main job because both me and Claudio have write access, so as fast as possible, we'll add it there. But we have to see that it works. As I said, the rationality behind eliminating them from the main job was that they take close to 40 minutes. The two tests affected by this, they take close to 40 minutes to fail. And it's obviously, we were hitting timeouts because of that. So it made sense to get them out. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's on tests here.
So it's our goal here then, once the daemon set fix and the max container backup fix go in, we should be able to have 100% green runs for the AKS.
Yeah, it should be 100% here.
So Patrick, that should satisfy 90% of what Aaron wanted, right?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Adelina and Clau and Patrick on that. That's great news. Patrick, you want to talk about the 114 board that Aaron asked for as well?
Yeah, I can. Sorry, did you have anything else, Adelina?
No, I actually wanted to talk about the PR to add the test to 114, but I'm guessing that's it.
Okay. So what we did on this, on the project board yesterday was Michael, Craig, and I got together and went through this list. But basically, we only have a couple days of test passes left. And so what we wanted to do is make sure we were tracking only things that would be release blocking as being merged for 14. And so that's this new release blocking column here. And it looks like a couple of these have actually already merged. So I'll just get them out of the way real quick. There's an issue with the GitHub projects where if something merges, but it's not part of, rather the GitHub project can only track one repo for automation, that's Kubernetes. So if something from a Kubernetes SIG repo merges, it doesn't automatically move into the done column.
Yeah, that's the one of the PRs I just approved about 20 minutes ago was one of those. I didn't notice I didn't get moved, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So out of the stuff that's here, let's do a quick run through on it. So Claudio updated the external name test to remove the flakiness on it. This is a PR that Adelina mentioned earlier. That's going to be the one that actually tracks the 1.14 release branch. So once this is running, this is the one that we want to point Brian and Aaron to. That's important because if we have things that there's going to be a point in time where they start allowing merges back into master. And so a lot of these other things that are in progress will merge into master, but not 14. And so we'll still have test coverage on them, but we want to make sure that we want to make sure the release team is actually looking at the 14 branch. So that's what this one does here. And if you look at that, the branch is different. The other fixes that we're waiting on are, let me get this. So there's this one, and
you want to talk a little bit about that 74655, which is a GCRIO Windows image test case that, so it's kind of funny, you pinged Timothy Sinclair and I did as well. So he responded, and Claudio, are you on the call? You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I am. Also added the authenticated image pool, so that's done. But now someone also wants to upload the Docker image of nanoserver Docker image instead. So apparently that's where it's blocked right now.
Yeah, I'm not clear. What is it? Who wants to do? I mean, I think Lubomir might be on this call now too. No,
yeah, I think he might be the person.
So what did Lubomir ask for?
Yeah, he basically wants us to update the Docker Hub image to a nano server as well.
Okay.
So basically, we'll have to create a manifest list for nano server on Docker Hub as well.
Got it.
But
Okay.
is that for 74655?
Yes.
Yeah. But in my opinion, that's basically a cleanup rather than fixing something like adding test cases to GCR.io.
How long do you think it will take you to do this adding to Docker Hub?
I can do it today if it's really necessary.
And this is okay. Something about this.
I mean, otherwise, the image that you're using today on Docker Hub is BusyBox, which is used by a bunch of the other tests. So, I mean, I think that should be fine.
Yep, I agree with you, but
Let me see if I can find Lubomir and talk to him, and I'll reply back to that PR. Like, we use BusyBox everywhere, so yeah, I don't see Lubomir on our chat. Okay, let's keep going. I'll talk to him later.
Okay. So the two changes that need to go into the kubelet are this first one for fixed computing of the CPU nanocore usage. So this fixes that divide by zero error. The original PR was closed without being merged in favor of this one. And so that one's under review.
I think it's already reviewed and approved. I think Yuju is on the call as well. I think all we're waiting is for tests to be green before it gets merged.
I would actually like it is maybe dashboard someone else from Signal to take a look since it touches more internal interfaces in Kubernetes than previous fixes. So I'm just going to pin them to take a look before merging it. So I'm putting it on hold.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Do you think you'll have that today?
Yuju, I think we lost you.
Sorry.
Are you expecting to have that merged today?
I think it should get it is reviewed and ready to go today.
Okay.
But if it merges or not depends on whether the SymbiQ can work through it.
Independently, would also love for you if you can. In addition to this, there's also a couple of other things that were kind of gated on your review. How's your time today in terms of both kind of covering a couple of areas?
Yeah, I'll try to go through them by 2 o'clock, then I'll be gone for the day. So yeah, I was going to review them, but then I started fixing that CPU network usage error. So I'll go back to review them, and hopefully I'll go through at least have a first round of review for all of them.
Thank you so much. I mean, we really appreciate it. We know we're basically putting a lot of things on your plate. So thank you for taking care of them.
No problem.
I have one thing from the GMSA side, the 74737. So I think I just pinged you today morning on it.
Yeah, sorry for the Slack messages I didn't respond to. Yeah.
So basically there, I think Jean has addressed, like basically was updating the comment and adding an issue to track the cleanup of the GMSA memory. Mm-hmm. And so, so the issue has been created and linked up as we suggested. We just, wanted you to take a look and approve if you think it's good.
Sure.
So you, I guess, at least two of them for sure, the 74788 and 74737 are two for sure that need your help.
Okay.
Well, 74788 has been reviewed. The only thing blocking it is Ben put a hold on it. Can you speak to that, Ben? Or sorry,
sorry, which one are we talking about? 747
network stats.
Oh, the oh, I think it's just showing wrong network stats. It's showing like duplicate network interfaces. There seems to be a bug where it like shows the same network interface like 6 times.
Yeah, that would be bad. I'm just looking at your comments right now. But besides the bug, it's not approved, Patrick. It's only looks good to me. It doesn't have the approval on. Still waiting for YouTube, but we definitely need Pine Fake to look at the bug.
Okay, we'll ping him on that. That is a really big risk. But I'm talking with him at 4 o'clock, so I'll ask him to prioritize that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if he works on it early tomorrow morning his time, I'm assuming he's in China, right? Beijing?
Yeah.
Then we might be able to run a review tonight. By then, that's around the same time that usually we'll start getting free.
Okay. So we talked about the GMSA one. So this next one around the DNS config tests, this is actually depending on a CNI change. It's not in the Kubernetes repo. And so I think what I'd like to do on this one is actually document that we're going to re-enable this test in version 15 after the CNIs are updated. This is testing the custom DNS configuration, and so there's no changes needed in the kubelet. We have it in review for Azure CNI, but the same is going to be needed for Flannel as well.
Yeah.
Okay, because I knew that test was failing.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that pull request basically adds 2 tests, one of which is basically a
so
duplicate.
we just raised a PR for Flannel as well. Yuju is looking at it, so once she signs off on it, we should be able to merge that as well.
Yeah, I'm all for continuing work on this, but I don't want to turn test grid red because the CNIs haven't merged yet.
I agree.
Okay.
So I'll leave a quick comment on the bug that. Okay.
Okay. Then we've got the doc work. This is a tracking issue. The website PR doesn't have to be reviewable by this Friday. So it's in progress, and we've got until the 18th. This is the issue tracking the net adapter stuff. We've got the tracking issue for. Hold on, I'm just going to move these so that those issues are at the bottom because they'll auto-resolve once the PRs are done. But they do have a PR open. The get restart delay one is under review. This one's under review. This name server bug, this is the one that is actually going to be resolved by the CNI changes. So I'm going to put that under 15.
Yep.
And then we have the pause image is probably going to be available on MCR today. But my proposal here is not to change the way that we're deploying stuff right now, but we could go ahead and bring that in for 1.15 and the master branch. So if anyone else wants to use it in their test pass, they can, but bringing this pause image in would require a change to AKS engine. And so I don't want that to, basically if we were to make the change today, it's not going to hit test pass until tomorrow. And so I think it's just too risky at this point. Are you okay with that? I mean, the image is there. People can use it. It's just not going to be part of the test pass.
So if it's there tomorrow, we're still okay, right? I mean, code freeze is not, we still get a green run.
This requires a risky change in AKS engine so basically I'd have to, it's another thing where I need to make a change in AKS engine, I need to make a release, and then I need to make a PR to the test grid stuff.
Got it.
Plus, there's an ongoing conversation between me, Jack Francis, and Brian about whether or not we should wrap all this up into a manifest image that combines all the architectures that we want, right? So right now we're doing AMD 64 for 1809, and we have an 1803 image. Should we just wrap all that together into one image that makes it cleaner for him, for Jack to implement, or keep the separate images and then have some logic to be able to switch between the two?
So a couple of things. So there will be, I mean, we have tests already that are getting the image out of GCR. So all that's done. And then we're going to have a pause image that will be published and created by Microsoft, and potentially customers will be able to use, but our test cases will not be able to use it yet until 1.15, correct?
No, test cases will be able to use it in 1.14. It's just that that's going to come in after code freeze.
Okay.
And so our proposal is that we just move the testing over before then.
That's fine.
Okay. And then dock tracking issues, and then tracking for GMSA and the divide by zero. So anything that's an issue in this column has a PR open right now.
Yep.
So we just need to keep pushing on getting those merged.
Yeah, there's like the two riskier ones are the ones that have SIG node implication as well.
Yeah, well, there's
the one by Peng Fei and the division by zero.
Yeah, well, all three of these here.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Anybody has anything else around PRs, or should we move on to the rest of our agenda really quickly? Okay. Ben, you want to talk a little bit about the vSphere test grid results? And I know that there was a blue screen of death that you're hitting, and Patrick and David, David specifically was looking into it. I don't know if there's any update on that, but anything you two report on that?
I think we've just found that several of the issues were related to like permissioning of directories on the host file system, then influencing things for the container file system and like access by container users. So we're just kind of figuring these things out and fixing the permissions.
But the permissions weren't causing the blue screen. The blue screen was a missing patch, and right?
I don't know what it was. I mean, we've just upgraded to the latest KB, so.
So when would go ahead?
Some memory dumps to analyze. So, in taking a look at them, we do see that at least in the memory dump, we see that it's very similar bug checks to the ones that we were seeing previously prior to the VFP fix that we released. However, the KB that includes the VFP fix is installed on Ben's machine. So we're still trying to understand if there's something that went wrong during KB installation or if there is another possible VFP issue or not. That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of right now.
All right.
Yeah, I was referring to, we just switched to the 4482887 that came out on the 1st. So, that was the only thing that's happened there. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. Next on our agenda, David, you want to give the 1-minute update on the Flannel overlay and VXLAN release that you guys had last week?
Okay, sure. Yeah. So overlay networking is a pretty big new feature that we're really excited about because it improves accessibility of Kubernetes on Windows to many users. It removes previous prerequisites in our instructions like having L2 adjacency between nodes or being limited to the L2 bridge or L2 tunnel networking modes only. as well as bringing many other benefits that overlays bring through logical separation of container networks from underlay networks of the hosts. We made this feature available by integrating Flannel and VXLAN mode to work on Windows and interoperate with Linux, as well as updating the getting started guide and corresponding scripts online. So quick rundown, the feature is available on Windows Server version 1903, but we've also backported it to become available on Windows Server 2019 with the recent KB released on March 1st. We should also have a blog coming out later this week with some more details. And to give a quick overview of limitations, they're also out on the SIG Windows notes right now. We're currently restricted to using VNI tag 4096. That limitation is being worked on and will be overcome. It's mainly like open source Flannel changes, and Kalia has been working on that. And the other limitation is that node to pod connectivity isn't possible by design, though we made it possible for local pods with a recent PR that came in that I can post right now.
I have it already in the docs. It's 1096.
Okay.
I already did.
So yeah, if you want to use it, we're definitely excited and want to hear feedback about it. I'll post the instructions of the getting started guide. It should all be in there.
Yeah, send me a link when you have it as well, privately on Slack, so I can update the docs.
Okay, sure.
Cool. Thank you, David. This is good stuff. I know there's a lot of people that were waiting for it, including Ben and Leah and a few others at Pivotal. So good stuff here. All right. I know we're almost out of time. The last thing I wanted to mention, Deep, something that we've talked about in the past was you're going to look into a set of tests that are Windows-specific tests, but they're not necessarily conformance tests, and kind of figure out the strategy of how and when we're going to run them and under what CI engine. So in the docs, I tried to pull a few of those tests. And if you look at our agenda, I have like 5 or 6 of them. That's the GMSA end-to-end, the read-only volume one, the node pod one, the DNS one, the system reserve node allocatable, and there's a CI engine one as well. So if you look at them, that's an initial collection of tests that we want to figure out when and how we run them. This doesn't have to be done for 114, but we should, keep that on the burner. That way we can do it quickly enough and work with Claudio and Adelina and Patrick and figure out when this need to be executed.
Absolutely.
Thank you for kind of spearheading that effort. Much appreciated. All right. Is there anybody else that has any questions or concerns or anything else they want to talk about?
Just a small note. We should keep an eye on what they're trying to promote to conformance, because they're trying to do that right now. For example, the external name DNS test is something that they're trying to promote to conformance, which is currently flaky without a pull request is sent. So we should really keep an eye on that for the following days.
Okay.
Yeah, and by eye, the only way to look is just look at any PR that happens to land any day. There's no board or anything where these things are mentioned.
I think I have an issue regarding the networking tests that they're trying to promote to conformance. Just a second. Yeah, I found it. Just a second. Pasted in chat. 73425.
Claudia, I didn't get that. What is this ticket about? The 73425?
Basically, they're trying to promote more tests to conformance, and which will have to pass.
I'm assuming they're not going to do it for 114, right?
They were currently discussing about promoting the external name DNS test.
Would this pass on us or no for Windows?
At the moment, it's flaky, but I sent a pull request for that.
Oh, that's the
yeah.
Okay, that's the 74964. Got it.
I told them to keep us in the loop when they're trying to promote
Yes.
stuff like this.
Can you ping Tim Hawking privately on Slack about this PR, the 74964? That way he can take a look at it.
Yep, sure.
So if this PR goes in, this test will no longer be flaky. It will keep passing on Windows.
Yep.
Okay, got it. Yeah, ping him privately on Slack. Hopefully he replies.
And let me know if there's any blockers there, and I can continue to escalate and coordinate across SIGs.
Yeah, thank you.
I have one last question, and I'm done. So, is it my understanding? Is there one board that needs to be completely green? Let's say the AKS Engine 114, or all of them, all the boards we have?
The general consensus from Brian was the vSphere one does not have to be fully green, but it's nice of it to be, majority green, which is what it is today. He said that he liked the fact that we had two independent cloud runs that were green, the Google Cloud and the Azure Cloud, and I think we need to keep those green.
Okay.
It wasn't a set rule, but.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the other feedback was he wanted coverage on the 14 branch, and that PR is ready for review.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Also, Ben, I'm writing on a couple of tests on Slack on SIG Windows.
Cool.
So let me take a very quick pulse right now. So for the J of Windows node, we have these 7 or 8 PRs that we need to finalize, and hopefully we'll get them and we'll be ready to kind of keep moving forward for GA. On the GMSA deep, is there any other PR besides that single one that you guys have that we're expecting for alpha?
Yeah, that's the most important one.
Is there anything else that will come for alpha, or is this done with that?
No, that's it. The main other thing is end-to-end tests, and those can come in when we try to beta in one.
Got it. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, we're going to have a tough couple of days. Keep at it. I know Patrick, myself, and Craig, and Deep as well, we're all sending messages on Slack back and forth on all sorts of features. So let's stay on top of the reviews so that way things can move forward, and I think we'll be fine. It's going to be a pretty stressful couple of days. I was already pinged by someone from the SIG release saying, hey, you guys have a ton of PRs. Are you sure you're going to be done by Friday? And I keep saying yes, but hopefully that I'm not going to be a liar.
Well, so I think one of the things that'll help there is I'll talk to Craig, but we need to go move the stuff that's marked milestone 14 that's not blocking out of that milestone.
Agree. I can help prune that.
Okay. Because I think that's why we're getting pings on all that stuff. So
possibly, usually I'm fairly, I don't put the milestone on tickets until later on. So yeah, definitely I agree with that, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I started doing that early on because we had a few that we had to preemptively push out to 15. And so I started marking everything that we were considering for 14. But now we need to undo that. So.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. Okay. But the SIG release team knows to go and look at our board, right? And look at the release blocking one. So they actually are looking at that as well.
Okay, good.
All right, cool. Well, everybody have a good rest of their day, and keep doing what you're doing, guys. So we're almost there.
All right.
Thank you.
So,
bye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.